All right, welcome everyone to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today we have this fella right here, Mr. Slim, Living Cyborg, is with us today. And you guys are in for quite the treat today. First of all, welcome to the show, Slim. Yeah, Trout Bubbles.
Yeah.
I know how that goes. Well, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here tonight.
What we do is we chat with folks about how they found their way free of whatever belief systems they were once a part of. So what I generally like to ask is to kind of take us back into the days where you were some form of a believer, and what kind of questions you had, and whether or not the questioning was, the element that started you leaving whatever faith you were involved in.
So when I was a small tadpole, no, I'm just kidding. I mean,
When he was a young warthog.
When I was in kindergarten, well, okay, we didn't discuss this, so I'm gonna put this the most palatable way for your channel, because I didn't ask before we got on what I can and can't say. So when I was in kindergarten, I was taken advantage of by a priest.
Okay, so there you go, folks. There is a trigger warning for this. All right.
Okay. And that's all as far as I'm going to go with that. So when I was very young, that happened. Then I kind of went away from religion. My parents actually were not very religious, and they were agnostic. But when we moved from Colorado to San Diego, and that's where I grew up, they found this school that let me in earlier than I normally could get into school, I guess is the best way to put it. So they wanted you to be like 7 years old or whatever to get into blah, 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 whatever, I don't remember. Before I get further, they had a test to get into this school, which was writing your name. And I actually wrote it completely backwards because I'm left-handed. Right? And do y'all know about the left-handed? Okay, I'll get into it. Yeah. Well, it's considered satanic,
with the right hand,
or demonic, right? And so when they found out I was left-handed, they brought me in and they taught me how to write right-handed. So for that first year, I was writing right-handed. Then that happened. I was still in that school for a while because I had told on that gentleman, and he got arrested and was in prison from me actually divulging the information about him doing these things to us, which he did it to multiple people. And when I actually was in my drug days, when I was in my 20s, I actually was doing stuff with somebody, and I looked at him and I said, "You went to this school at this time, huh?" And he goes, "Fuck, you were there, huh?" And I actually got to have like a weird 20 years later an experience with somebody, and we sat there and we hugged each other and cried and got to break down and talk about it. And I actually got to have a little bit of therapy. Yeah.
Super healthy.
Yeah. And I was already out of religion by then, but it was great to actually, like, your brain is like, did that happen or not? Like, we don't know if our consciousness is real. You don't never know, like, your experience. You think you know it, but is it really real? Anyways, so 6 months later, it was summer school, and I was still at the school. I was a daredevil at a very, very young age. So I was already like swinging on the swing sets and getting as high as I can and jumping off for people to give me money or to like trade stuff for the cupcakes at lunch or something, right? People
Baseball
are like, you can't. Yeah. People are like, you can't do this. And I'm like, watch me, I can. So one thing I was doing is there was a gazebo over picnic benches. And on the other side,
those are made for climbing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then on the other side of that was a jungle gym. So what I used to do is I used to swing from one arm to the gazebo main post, to the next one, to the jungle gym, and then keep swinging. And I go one arm to one arm and one arm. So what happened is a young kid tried doing that, and he broke both of his arms trying it. He broke one arm trying it. He got back up and tried it again, broke the other arm. So after that, he blamed it on me, So I got kicked out of Christian school because I forced this kid to hurt himself. And so there's my first example of religion in me.
I knew that kid was bad news. You know he's left-handed.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I was the troublemaker anyways. I mean, all my teachers loved me, but the higher ups didn't because I was the one pushing the boundaries always. I think I got caught in a bush kissing a girl as well or something like that. You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying? Like, yeah.
Naughty.
Naughty.
Behind the hedge.
So then I went to normal high schools. I got arrested for having 11 hits of LSD on me at 9th grade,
Huh.
right? Which
lot.
caused me. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing.
Which caused me to get kicked out of my school district, right?
Jeez.
The only place that I was able to go to was a Christian high school, a private Christian high school. So 10th grade, I again was put into religion, even though, like I said, my parents are agnostic, but I still in my brain thought there was somebody watching. I didn't know if it was the right gear or not, but my brain still was like, there is a watcher, right?
Kind of higher power kind of thing.
Yeah, and I didn't know if it was like the Holy Bible Jeebus or whatever version, or if it could have been a pagan god or something. I still was in, going through different types of testing religions. I didn't know if it was Tibetan. I didn't know if it was Buddhist. I didn't know at the time, but
Sure.
I still had the idea that there was a watcher over us because it was so embedded in all of us in the cultural here in the Americas, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the Christian school and I was in science class one day and the teacher said, so your biology book is talking about evolution, and on the test you have to say evolution works. But remember, God said that creationism is the way, right?
Of course.
So after class, I went up to my teacher and I said, hey, this is bullshit, right? You know that like evolution works because look at the science. And he goes, yeah, no, I totally understand. But he's like, I'm going to lose my job if I don't fucking throw in the creationism bull crap at the end. And I went,
wow.
so I'm like, and he goes, yep, I know. And I'm like, but he's like, I want to be a teacher. I still want to teach people. He's just like, I'm stuck in this religious thing, pretty much is what he said. He's like, I could go to another school, but he's like, I'm already here. Like my wife, my kids, but he's like, I'm stuck. And I went, okay, it's a scam. I get it. I see it now. Okay, I understand. It's a grift. Okay, cool. I get it. A couple months later, I was dating a heroin junkie that I didn't know at the time. And we were in, yes, I've been in bands, John Stir Monster. I've been in 5 bands or whatever. I have 12 albums out. We'll talk about that later, and we'll show probably a music video later if that's okay with everybody. We'll see. Or just go to my channel and look up all my crap. You'll see.
We can do that kind of stuff for sure in the after party. So
sure, yeah. However you all do this, we'll get it fingered out just like we always do. Just like I'm about to say, we were in chapel one day, and I was poking and nudging why she's laughing so much because again, I didn't understand her condition. And I ended up kind of playing with her a little bit in chapel. Well, the girl behind us wanted to date me, and I rejected her. So she told them that I was finger baking my girlfriend in chapel. Which was semi-right, but not 100%. I did not 100%, but I was making her make noises. That was definitely true. So the principal brings me inside and a couple other of the priests and other people in the organization, and they sat me down and they literally told me, you are a fallen angel sent here by the devil to disrupt the youth.
Of course.
I'm here.
So at 16 years old, we all know what being 16 does with your non-existent brain, right? You were not smart for a hot minute. I literally walked around for a whole year thinking I was a fallen angel. I'm like, yes.
Aha.
Hail Satan, I'm the devil. Yes. I'm like, nobody can destroy me. Rah, you know what I'm saying?
Wait till I get my powers.
Yeah, until I did a test kind of to myself, and I pricked myself and hurt and saw blood and went, okay, well, like, I guess I can't be immortal if there's the humanoid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of felt, got my, and then slowly from there, I was able to say there's no leprechauns, there's no tooth fairy, there's no Santa Claus, there's no other mythological creatures that we're told as a kid. Well, why are we not told that when we grow up, that there's no ghee? Yeah, we should believe in not killing people and not R-ing people and be nice to your neighbor and and all the other fun things that go along with morality in a society that you live in, and that's what you need to go on, not what the Bible says for whatever. No, it's the societal norms that you're supposed to go off at the times that you're living, because remember, the Bible has nothing to do with computers, combustion engines, nothing with technology. There's no technology in the Bible that has anything to do with our lives. Yeah, don't kill people. Okay, that obviously makes sense. But outside of those things, what does that have to do with any of my freaking life? You know what I'm saying? Like, no.
Well, that's kind of why I would say, if you get your morals because you fear a deity, you're different from me, because I get my morals because I want to be decent to my fellow human beings.
When I harm somebody intentionally or intentionally, not or I do it on purpose, I feel bad afterwards. I know that I did something wrong, and I'm like, crap, I shouldn't have freaking told that person that thing in that way. I'm a dick. God, that's internal morality, not going, oh, did that thing look at me and say, oh, it's looking down on me because I did that. No, that's not how that really should work. You should already have the internal conversation. And one thing, folks, there's an internal dialogue that you have. That is not another deity talking with you. It's just what everybody has. That is just your internal dialogue,
But I was told I was special. And my normal conscience voice was God.
So how many freaking people are there on this earth? And for some reason it talks to you, and there's not enough time for it to talk to. What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm very, very special.
You're so special, and that's the weirdest thing about that is that connection and pretending they're that special.
Where do I sign up for getting fingered out?
Okay, so if you sign up, you go to my Discord, and you take a number, and you can get fingered out.
Line around the block to get into the after party. I don't know how we're gonna set this up.
And then so I told you pretty much how I've kind of got out of religion. Like from there, my brain, right? Okay, and it was very, very difficult. The first like 2 weeks or something like that, it was hard for my brain to not believe there is a deity. It was really weird to break that cycle in my own brain for a while, and also to learn about like science and the universe and how the planets work together seemed very foreign to some extent for a while, and then I looked into things more and more, and actually could figure out how to do some of the math enough for a carny. Like, I'm a total carny, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I eventually slowly figured out ways to make connections to say, okay, well, this has to be the way that they're saying. Like, why would the government I know they lie to us a bunch. I know the government lies to us. We know that. But
Politicians all do.
Why would they lie about like the shape of the earth, or what, like why are there so many things that connect with so many governments saying there is a universe and these things do work together in this mathematical equation that fit together? Okay, well, that makes way more sense than a sky magic daddy fairy that's up in the sky that tells you if you're good enough or not to spend eternity with him, when he only gives you. Okay, why do babies not get any chance to live in existence long enough for them to be judged to go to an eternity, right? I wish that would have happened to me. If I got to be in eternity with the happy place, take me away as a fetus, right? That doesn't make any sense though, right? Like why would they not give you, why would that Guy not give you 30 years or more to give you a chance to prove whether you're good enough to be eternally somewhere else, right? Like it seems so weird that that's the time spacing, 30 years or 80 years to eternity. Why isn't it 200 years? Or why don't we get enough chances to keep learning over and over again until we're good enough to be in their presence or something, right? The numbers just don't make any sense.
It's almost like they don't want you to get into heaven.
God, that's exactly just like with what is it, Mormonism or something, where there's only 250,000 people that are supposed to get into heaven or something. It's like
Jehovah's.
Yeah,
144, 144,000.
That already happened 20 years ago, homie. So you're not getting into heaven no matter what at this point for them. So like your numbers are already screwed, dude.
So what we've heard is that there's like different levels.
Oh, that's right.
So you're not getting the 144,000. That's the VIPs.
It's the ultimate kingdom.
That's
exactly.
already been claimed. No vacancies up there, but you can get into regular heaven. Is what.
Then there's like the slum levels.
There's like the barely
little heavenly strip malls and shit like that.
And speaking of those devils and demons. I have worked in the underground industry. I was running a club in Tijuana, Mexico at 19. I was paying off the federales $500 a week to stay open, and I was buying drugs off the Mexican mafia. I've been putting on underground events. I used to work for swinger corporations, blah, blah, blah. If there was an underground satanic organization that was doing all the fun stuff, I would have already found out about it. And honey, there is not that. I would have been there and done all that. And there's not this cute little thing that you think there's a cabal of these things that are doing things with things and turning things into other things. You know what I'm saying? There's no mythological. I mean, I have been doing events for the Satanic Temple for a couple years now. They flew me out to Utah, Salt Lake City, and put me up in a hotel, paid me a bunch, got me hella drunk, and we had a bunch of fun. There was no babies involved. There was no sacrifices. I mean, there
not
was
even for lunch.
well, that was a different type of meat. But like, again, if these things were actually happening, there would be people like me and others that would actually know these are going on, and we could. But I tried my hardest as a teenager to find those organizations, and all I found was just a bunch of swingers. That's all I could find. I mean, it wasn't as fun as you thought it was going to be, I've been putting on fetish events and BDSM club nights, goth industrial nights, gay nights, all those things for the last like 15 years or 20 years.
Awesome.
And that's all that it is. It's just a culture where there's no secret cabal of somebody doing things. And I tried to make that happen, but no, people don't go along with that because, they have morals or something, I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? Like I went out to find those things that they all like claim that is happening. No, there aren't satanic cults going around and doing these things. Yes, in culture and in history, there have been a small handful of weird incidents where people thought they were doing things
Hold on, though. Those weren't Satanists. Those are Luciferians. Exactly. They're very different.
Yeah, sure.
Luciferians actually are devil worshippers.
Yeah, or they were confused people that went along with the satanic panic, doing things they thought were happening that actually weren't real rituals, or nothing was connected to like Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible or anything close to those things. There's
I have
no
that around here
connection to.
somewhere.
I used to have both of them or whatever. God, it's been so long that I had all those books. And like I have all the other Bibles next to me too. I have the Quran right next to me. I have different holy Bibles, and every once in a blue moon I'll go into those things. Although I do it more online now just to look up, because you have these theologists who come in and they get philosophical about what their idea of whatever passage is. And I have to go and reread it or look it up in different versions to make sure I understand. Yeah, exactly. Understand what we're talking about. And then I go to them and say, well, people forget words mean different things. And also phrases are different throughout history. Supposedly, if you were to time travel 100 years in the past, you and them could not speak together, even if you were in English.
You have to go further back than 100 years.
Okay,
I think
sure, it's a something.
Probably the 1400s, give or take. Somewhere
Sure. It's a something. But you know what I'm saying? Like if you went so far back in time and you spoke English and they did, y'all couldn't speak because
no, you barely understand each other.
Yeah, you'd say, "How are you doing?" Yeah, you wouldn't say, it's almost, well, whatever. Sometimes when I go to Scotland, when I talk to people from Scotland or whatever, I'm like, bro, I cannot understand anything you're saying. But it's the phrases and wording that would be different. That would be the thing, not the accent.
Try talking to a Newfie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What?
or the
funny because I've heard an Irishman and a Newfoundlander speaking, and they almost sound exactly the same. So much so that the Irish guy thought that the Newfoundlander was an Irishman.
Yeah, there we go.
That's kind of funny.
So springboarding. The other thing that I like bring to the table to the debunking community when we're doing these conspiracy theory things, and also religion, and grifters in religion, because that's the main thing that I am about. Is I don't care if you're religious. I don't care what you believe. Just don't be an extremist version of it or try to make money off of pushing that religion.
Who's been one of the like cash wise? Who's been like one of the bigger grifters that you guys have covered? Like
Kenneth Copeland.
Is he a cash cow? Boy. Is he leading the leaderboards right now? And the dirt bags of the year.
Well,
Joel Osteen.
They're pretty much up there, but I mainly focus on like Ben Shapiro and Tim Pool, even though they're not like religious zealots, but they're the ones that are making like a gazillion dollars, and Joe Rogan a little bit, but I don't like to go on him because it's easy. That's so much easy to he's so dumb that it's easy to just pick on him. Ben Shapiro and Tim Pool and Jordan Peterson, there's a little bit more content to flush out of them. So yeah, every once in a while I go over some of the actual religious zealots, but they're boring to me. They're saying the same thing, and it's I now I seem to be going over more Bigfoot. Electric fog, all the weird other conspiracies.
Electric fog.
Yeah, have you not heard about that?
That sounds like a good band name.
Yeah, well, no, it's a 1970s electric funk band. It's called Electric Fog. Actually, it is, and I'm not joking. But there's all these weird conspiracies. Yeah, that's what I'm running with more recently. But what I was getting at is because I'm a carny, I was taught how to fortune tell, how to read cards, how to scry, how to do all the things to get your money out of your pocket into my pocket, right?
Yeah.
Because all of those are pretty much grifts. That's the first grifting was being a fortune teller or going from town to town and reading tarot cards or reading the ball.
Yeah, I have tarot
exactly. Yeah. And so I was taught that as a teenager was how to get money out of people's pocket. You read somebody, they come in and they're like, "Oh, I want to find out something," and you're like, how good are your clothes? How neatly are you shaven? You know, you look at all these things and you're like, how much money can I expunge out of you? And then the first thing you do is there a wedding ring band? Is there not one? And is there like a tan ring line?
Right.
There's other things that you look at to make sure. Oh, you just lost a loved one. Oh, was it your significant other? Because they had the tan ring. You know, there's like little things that you can pick up on
Sure,
to
it's called cold reading.
lead them. Yeah, exactly. And then hot reading is freaking easy as crap. And that's where
Well,
you
with the
like make
internet,
people.
sure it is.
Yeah, and that too. And that's where like you can bring in people and you look up their FaceTime books and you look up their relatives' names or anything about them. And then you go, oh, you grew up in Montana, in this small little house. Oh, you were on a cul-de-sac, you know, and they're like, whoa. And you're like, yeah, you fucking put that on the internet. So of course I'm gonna find that out. I mean, duh. Yeah. So from that's where I use my understanding of that to reveal grifters. Like, oh yeah, what they're doing when they're saying these things, or what is it? Alex Jones. He tells you you're really dumb right before he gives you an ad for brain pills. Right before he sells you the penis pills, he tells you your wife is cheating on you with the pool boy because you're not giving her enough sex, and because you're not masculine enough with a big enough beep, you know. And like he primes you to buy whatever ad is
My
going to come up
beep is
next.
just fine, thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
And my beep isn't missing $1 billion, fucking monster.
I can't believe people buy all of that stuff. Like it's insane to just like even the woo people. Like there's this flat earther Santos guy, Carver Boblo or something. He sells these little patches that you put on yourself to detoxify yourself for like $20 a patch or whatever. Yeah,
and then you can't detoxify yourself.
No. And
well, I mean, you can, but it's way more involved in it than just putting a fucking patch on, just putting your feet in something that bubbles.
That too, yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing he sells. And then he also sells this a vitamin water, organic water that detoxifies you from your demons or whatever too. Awesome. And like,
I like my demons.
No, me too. Like they talk to me, they keep me busy, entertained when I'm alone. The only thing is I don't like when they speak in languages I don't understand.
So annoying.
You can have a beep big as mine for $19.95 a month.
Exactly. So yeah. So from there, I started putting on underground events. I went to college for electronic music production. I had 3 different bands. I put out multiple albums. At this point, I have like 12 out. I've toured multiple times. I moved to Colorado, and I found the gay club here. And I started putting on events at the gay club, gay nights, goth industrial nights, fetish nights, BDSM nights, and alternative nights and punk nights. They closed down. We moved it to the 3rd largest stage in Fort Collins in Colorado, and I began putting on fetish nights at the 3rd largest stage in town, which was amazing because every single time I'm just like waiting for the cops to arrest us. I'm like, we didn't do anything illegal, but when you're in a small college town, having girls half naked on stage, you're just like, I don't know how legal this is. At one point in time, though, what was really funny is I had 3 cops, female cops from Fort Collins, come off duty into the event, and they talked their way back into my green room, and they were like flirting with all the girls. And so I just sat there and I'm like, how legal is this? And they're like, I don't know, we're having too much fun. I kept pressing them, and they're like, technically we could do something, but nobody in this town is going to care as a police officer, whatever you're doing. Like we're okay with it. And I was like, yes, okay. At least I got actual police to tell me none of them are going to, and I made sure they had a good time. I think at least one of them went home with one of our girls.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what we did is it's pasties, panties, and stockings is the rule.
Sure.
So we always have pasties, panties, and stockings. Yes, sometimes people can be wearing panties that you do get a lip slip.
I hate it when that happens.
That's the downstairs version of a nip flip,
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah, exactly. But once again, you're not getting flashed with anything really per se. So nothing ever really happened.
Unless you wanna.
Yeah, well, that's after party.
That goes on backstage.
That's if you're over 21 and you have a credit card, then we'll talk about that later. Anyways, so every once in a blue moon, a pasty would fall off. But once again, nobody's going out there to be vulgar, and we're not doing things nude, and we're not trying to be
It's fetish stuff. It's
yeah,
natural shit.
Yeah, I mean, people are kind of getting things loose, and there's kind of things squirting around the stage and stuff. But I mean, there's not real anything going on illegal.
Unsure says lip flips are so uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Never mind.
So then I moved my way to putting on sideshow events, and now I swallow a sword. I walk on glass. I put my hands in animal traps. I used to eat light bulbs. I don't do that anymore because it's not so fun. I lift weights for my piercings and other things. So I have 10 world records right now for sideshow.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah, you just recently, if I remember, because one of the streams you were holding that I popped in on, you had just recently pierced.
Yes. So I have yes, I have 2 new ball piercings. Testicle piercings is, I guess, the best way to put it. Yeah. There was one of my exes, she is a body piercer tattoo artist, and she had a apprentice, and she called me up and said, my apprentice, to get his license or to be able to not have me watching over him anymore, he needs to do a couple of genital piercings. So what's up? And I went, yep, sure. If you taught him, then I'm down. So went in there, and I wasn't aware of it at the time, but he put down 2 barbells and starts cleaning up for 2 piercings, and I'm like, I agreed to 1, so are we doing 2? And they both look at me and they're like, oh yeah, is that okay? And I'm like, you're getting it ready, screw it, go. Yeah, sure.
We've gone this far.
Yeah. So I lay down, he pierces 1, he starts cleaning up, and I look at him, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, oh, what? I'm like, throw the other one in me. Come on, dude. You already have it all ready and cleaned, and like, just
well, that could be
okay. Okay. And so he
run me through.
Yeah. So you did it. Yes. And exactly, Ollie, man, I am not allowed to stand up on camera because we will get the channel canceled because I'm always naked on stream.
Pants? Who said anything about pants?
I only do streams naked, just to let everybody know if you didn't know. I get yelled at. I didn't realize I was doing streams without a shirt on for the first couple times. And then I wore a shirt, and everybody in the side chat was like, Slims, take off shirt. You got to be naked to do these streams. And so it just became a running theme. So I always do streams nude.
In the buff.
Yeah, exactly.
Me too, but it's all under my clothes.
There we go. Everybody's naked under their clothes. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I've got enough hair to stream naked,
like a walking advertisement for a carpet place or something.
Well, there
I'm
you
just
go.
saying,
There
I think my hair is just curly enough to cover just enough to kind of obscure some shadow.
Microphone.
I'll just wear a mic muff.
So, would you like to show a longer video of me performing or a shorter one? It's like 6 minutes or 2 minutes.
We can show whichever one you want to show.
Hey, your call.
'Cause
As long as the
I
guys in the chat are okay with that.
I have
Because
the
we'll see some cool
fetish.
shit.
I have the fetish version of me doing sideshow, or I have the tame version of me doing sideshow. What would you all prefer?
Either or, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so that means the
Let's
fetish
see,
version of it.
let's take let's take a vote. What do you guys see? Or what do you guys want to see? The fetish
Normal
version or
stuff?
the tamed down version?
Yeah.
Tame for 2, wild for 1.
I already can figure out what's probably going to happen. I'm sure all of them want to see the fetish version of this, which is very blasphemous, which is fun because that's why we did a lot of when I was putting on an event called Repent, and it was very blasphemous, and we tried to have like a lot of nuns bleeding on stage and all kinds of things like that, upside down crosses, and them getting put in weird places and things like that. So yeah. I
They're
miss
fine
putting
with
on
either.
Repent. Okay. Well,
Let's
I'm
go
going
with,
to put in,
the fetish one or whatever.
okay, I'm going to put that in the side chat so that you can share it to your liking.
Okay.
You got it, Neil?
I'm just going to be
private?
sharing it or putting it in the private chat right now.
You want me to
Okay.
grab it?
Yep.
Okay. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to find one of my music videos.
Sure. You gotta love it when you come to school and all they do is pull out the TV and show videos, eh, guys?
Exactly.
Oh my God. Movie day for a substitute? Nothing better.
Let's get rid of this first of all, so we can actually move ourselves aside to play the sucker.
There we blow. Okay, that works. So these are all from my event called Repent that we used to do. Step right this way. Life breaks inside. Step right this way. Life breaks inside. Be amazed and wonder. See the city skeleton man. Feisty sideways twins. So I'm piercing her leg with needles right now. So that's 10 pounds of weight hanging from my septum and 10 pounds of weight hanging from each nipple.
Oh, it's cast iron.
Yes, they were. Yeah. And I just swallowed a half a foot sword. So that's my fetish demo that I send to fetish corporations to get fetish gigs.
That gives whole new meaning to my crotch is on fire.
Oh.
What the hell was that?
Oh, PJ Morton. Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. So we had another one there?
No, this is my music video. If you don't mind showing this is from one. This is me and one other producer that made this industrial track. The the background is actually from a museum in Australia that is made up by lights being shined on pieces of paper. So we'll see that in just a second. So this is all from a museum in Australia, the background.
That's cool.
It's just lights and paper.
Trippy.
Yeah.
Faulty Fandangle.
Yeah.
That's a good band name.
Yeah.
Totally. Me and somebody else did the vocals together. So this is all about do cyborgs need to eat or whatever, and also about nuclear war. There's 12,000 warheads. That's not in my hands. I'm not the one to push the button if it was to go wrong.
The crazy ideas they had for flying machines, eh?
Yeah.
Like human-powered air traffic.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is from like the 1950s movie. It was called like Robot or something like that. We made these music videos to be DJ'd into like a VJ thing. So live, you could be mixing it into another song or whatever. So that's what the music video was made for, because we didn't know what YouTube was in 2009 or 8 or something when this was actually
Pretty
put
much when
on
it started.
YouTube.
Yeah.
We didn't know what the potential of it was yet. And so we just made these videos to use to play live at events.
Very cool.
Because it was easier to upload it here and then go to an event and then put it on your laptop and play it, and other than it being stored on something at the time, you know?
Right, sure.
Where's the DVD remote?
Yeah.
in a stadium.
Yeah, we used to put on underground events with like 200 to 1,000 people. So that was just something that was easy to put on a
That's
playlist
cool.
and play and have, run. So yeah, thank you. And the vocals were me and a friend. I came up with the lyrics and then he made the beats, but we produced it together and with each other. We played with each other to make. Never mind. That's something different.
Things that sound dirty, but
Yeah. Hillbilly. If you would like any of that, just find me, go to my channel and look at the things. I have playlists that have my most of my music on just a playlist. And if you want more stuff, I said I had 12 albums out. It's hilarious. When you go to watch my streams, the first couple songs we play and some of the outro, and during it, I play my music that I've produced. So you can hear some of that on my channel when we do streams.
very cool. I definitely like the industrial sound. Shit, man. I'm from the city where Skinny Puppy was born.
Oh, freaking yeah. I love watching them live.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
And this is like in the 80s too, when they first came out. And
when they were really good. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, in their beginning days, they were much better than when they went a little bit more commercial, we'll say, I guess.
They went more EDM, and they went more like electronica or exactly.
Yeah, they were still very, very industrial at the point, like very much like early Ministry, right?
Yeah.
Before they kind of, after Psalm 69 or whatever, things just started going downhill for them, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and there's lots of great bands from in that genre that I used to love quite a bit.
And remember, folks, the only way for you to get a record album, if you ask Alex Jones, is you have to go in front of people and you have to denounce God and you have to sell your soul to Satan.
That's right.
It's true. I remember doing it.
I had to do it. The only reason to get 12 albums was, I had to sell my soul to Satan. Hold on, Satan. I'll be right there. God, just give me a second. God damn it.
So demanding.
Yeah, son of a.
We penciled this time in.
Yeah. I told you I'll be there in a minute.
Settle down, Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We didn't even get to do the after show yet, and you're harping.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. Well, you know what, dude? That was pretty cool. I really like that. I like the visuals too that you put in there with it. That was pretty cool. I'm definitely looking forward to listening to more of your tunes because I think you got a pretty cool sound there.
Well, what's really interesting? Well, the funny part of the tracks that I made when I was younger is I was very conspiratorial. I really thought like the world was going to end and we were going to be eating bugs and all kinds of things. Like I literally was on the conspiratorial train. No, I've eaten all kinds of bugs and there's so many other, whatever. We'll talk about that. But a lot of these songs were like inspired by me thinking the government's after you and they're making you take a thingy, injecting you with things that you're not supposed to, or putting things in, around you that is going to make you poisoned, or they're trying to kill you, and then I slowly kind of came out of that. Actually, what did that for me was going through the whole COVID thing and actually having to look and be like, wait, that doesn't make any sense that something's conspiratorial, that these many people, well, it was really the flat earth. What started it was I was touring. I was pretty much touring the country 6 months out of the year, right? The whole thingy bobber happened and I got stuck. I was supposed to be in India 3 months after that. I was supposed to be there for a whole month. They were going to be paying for my whole living in a whole house by myself. They're going to be giving me a bottle of vodka every night. And I was going to be paid like $100 US for every night I was there to be in a resort to do a haunted house. They were going to make a resort, a haunted house for 2 months. And they're like, sword swallower, come here and you get to do all this stuff for they're going to, that happened. And then we were screwed. So I was sitting here in my room, stuck, and I didn't know what to do. I found flat earth and I went, wait, what? People believe in what? nuh-uh.
Yeah.
And then I looked more into it and I was like, oh my
Uh-huh.
God, I can help debunk this. And then I found all the other conspiracies. So I went from being kind of a conspiracy theorist to going, no, we can actually figure this out. Or like, there is
Yeah.
no, this doesn't make any sense. The mud flood doesn't make sense. There wasn't a global flood that happened 1,000 years ago
Ever.
that caused the Nephilim to not be here, and that's why there's not Tataria anymore, whatever. Like, oh my geez, you know, like that's how far I've delved into this. Like, I know way too much about conspiracy theories than I should. So it brought me out of it. So a lot of my music actually was conspiratorial. And when I got my DUI 12 years ago, I was stuck in jail and I was reading The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, all 5 books. So the only thing I had to do for 24 hours a day was just breathe. So I read The Hitchhiker's Guide from front to back, and I came up with, at one point in time, I wanted to make an album, a CD album with 24 artists making 32 songs that related to all of the things in The Hitchhiker's Guide. That dissolved, and hopefully someday maybe I'll have that happen again. But yeah, there's no more Atari anymore. Exactly. Not Tataria, but Atari. Anyways, so yeah, it's really fun to see the progression of how getting myself out of thinking the government's after me, you know. Yes, they lie to us, and they are, but it's not as bad as what these people that we talk about think, you know.
Well, there's no lizard fucking people, so let's just get over that bullshit.
Okay, well, hold on. I have to make a disclaimer. The mole people told me not to talk about the lizard people because I'm a cyborg who runs them, because I'm transported here as a cyborg alien time traveler to make sure the mole people don't take over the earth for 7 more years. So I'm warning you now, we have 7 more years before the mole people take over because the lizard people let them. Anyways, never mind. No, but yeah,
you have broken your oath of silence.
Yeah, now I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna fall out of a window. I'm gonna fall out of a window while moving a bathtub, just like all of the Russian oligarchs have accidentally done.
He was coincidentally at Universal Studios and was standing underneath a cartoon-like anvil.
Yeah, and then
who knew somebody replaced it with a real one?
Yeah, while I was lit on fire, and for some reason there's like drugs in my system or something, you know, or
well, I think we could probably carry this over into an after party. I do want to thank you though for sharing your story with us. And as you had mentioned at the beginning of it all, there was probably some pretty heavy duty shit that you had to deal with. So sorry you had to go through that, my friend.
Yeah, man.
Well, unfortunately it happened, but I like to use it to my advantage to help to talk to other people about it, because there are these people that are in a certain part of the American society that say that there's a certain other part that are grooming children and that are abusing children. And I get to hold up my hand and go, you know what? I got abused by the side that y'all are on. Yeah. So prove me wrong on the other side. Like, you know,
there's never been a case of it. So I don't even know what they're talking about.
And then also the other thing is there's certain people who are saying that there are people that are illegal bringing in drugs into this country, where I have firsthand proof that legal citizens were the ones that are doing it. So prove me wrong on the other side, because I was the one legally as a citizen doing those things that y'all say that. So again, firsthand knowledge. I've been there, done that with a lot of these things. So, you know, you can't. I saw one side enough of it. So whatever. Thank you very much for having me on. It was wonderful meeting you as well. Mikey. Okay. It was wonderful meeting you, and thank you. And I'm excited for the after party because I'm only partially drunk. I still have a little bit more vodka to drink. So, you know, let's keep blowing on. You know what I'm saying?
Well, every time you see the hashtag coins down below, Mike will pop it up there to show you what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hang on.
there you go.
There we go. See, that's our drinking game. So when that pops up, because my phone makes the Mario coin noise.
Oh,
so
are we
every time
supposed
it
to
makes the
drink every
noise.
time? Okay,
Yeah.
well, okay.
I should have
I
told
didn't
you
know that. Otherwise, I would have been on board with that.
My bad.
Although I've been drinking for most of this time, if you haven't noticed, as well. And yes, I have a bifurcated tongue, which means that I am satanic because I speak on both sides of my tongue. And you know what the fun thing about having a split tongue is? I can make out with myself when I'm bored.
I know what I like.
Oh, me.
That's awesome. All right, everyone, we are going to get into an after party. If you want to be involved, start over with the new rules that Jur says.
And I don't know if you all noticed my background. I've been in a chapel the whole time. So we've been blasphemous inside of a chapel this whole time. Oh, there's my love. My wife finally shows up. It's okay. She's been having a migraine all day. So, but go.
Hello, wife.
Everybody join us into the after party. So Dungeon Queen is my wife.
All right. Hello, Dungeon Queen. I hope your headache feels better. We are going to get into the after party. If you want to be involved, let Mike or myself know. We'll get a link to you. All of Slim's links are down below. You can check out his personal website. You can also check out his YouTube channel, Twitch channel. You can check out his Facebook, and you can check out his Twitter. He doesn't use Twitter that much, but he's going to have to when I put out a thank you tweet later on. So definitely check all those links out. Also, thanks everyone out in the chat for hanging out with us. Hope you guys had a great time from today's show. A little bit different than usual. We got to see some cool ass videos and stuff like that. And this fella here is a pretty amazing guy. And I always say, when you go through something that's traumatic and you turn out as awesome as you did, dude, then that's always good. So also thanks to my wonderful patrons and our members. We now have members. You can click the join button and join the channel, and you get to see your name in green and use cool little things, whatever they're called, emojis and stuff.
You'll remember what they're called one of these days.
I'm old and fucking. I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Are you my grandson?
Here, get off my lawn. Anyway, so we're gonna do that soon. And like I always say at the end of the interviews, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Link to the after party below. See ya.